bricks, it's Brickley here, and welcome to episode 22 of building Mordor in LEGO. And in the previous episode, we actually unboxed a massive LEGO part haul from Bricklink with pieces which I'm going to use to build Minas Morgul, and also to continue building my Black Gate mock, because I got a lot of unfinished business to just take on and build. So if you haven't seen the previous episode, episode 21 of building Mordor in LEGO, I highly suggest you go and click the card on the top right corner of the screen to watch that video. And if you haven't saved the playlist to which I manually add all of the episodes of my building Mordor in LEGO series, I also highly suggest you go and click the card on the top right corner of the screen to save that playlist so you can actually watch all of the episodes of my building Mordor in LEGO series in the right order. And with that out of the way, of course, if you are enjoying my building Mordor in LEGO series, let me know by leaving a thumbs up to support this video. Go subscribe to Brickley if you are new to my channel, and of course ring that notification bell to stay updated on when I post any LEGO videos. Hashtag Team Brickley. And let's go ahead and get into today's episode of building Mordor in LEGO, episode 22 already. So there's a little bit of a sort of addition to my whole, actually. This package right here, actually containing all of these pieces, came in today. So I got a lot of these 1x1 dark bluish gray bricks, just 5 bags of those, which I can definitely use for continuing building the rock work on both sides of the Black Gate. I actually ran out on those pieces, and I frequently use them within the rock work to sort of break up the sort of sloping technique and make it look a little bit more natural within the rock work. So that is definitely something I can do with all of these pieces. I'm really happy that I received these pieces. I'm going to put these to some good use when I'm going to start continuing building the rock work of the Black Gate mock. But yeah, you can see a lot of different dark tan pieces in front of the big plane in front of my Black Gate. And I'm actually going to fill in this entire light bluish gray empty area of the big base plates. But first of all, I'm going to show you all the parts which I'm going to use for doing this. So I actually got a lot of these bigger dark tan plates over here, and I actually initially bought these for the Minas Morgul mock, but I think I'm going to use them right now because otherwise I'm not going to be having enough pieces to fill in this entire area. So I got a lot of these plates right here, which is definitely going to be a bigger help with, of course, filling in this entire area. Then I actually got this little sort of stack with a lot of these plates, the 4x, I believe these are 4x12 or something, 4x12 plates in a dark tan color, also really useful. Got a couple of these right here, I believe the 6x12s. Got the 8x8 plates, also ordered these for Minas Morgul initially, but I'm going to need to use these pieces right now for filling in the landscaping in front of the Black Gate. And I got these, let me see here, these are the 6x8 plates, also useful. We got, of course, these 6x6, a couple of those, and a couple of these, actually 2 of these sort of corner pieces. So these are really useful for adding some detail to my mock. Then over here, actually on the right side, I got a lot of these wedge plates, which are also useful to build a lot of sort of strange sand dunes within, of course, the area in front of the Black Gate. So I'm really happy with that. But I'm also going to need to remove this entire area of detail of the dark tan area, because I'm actually going to need to add a couple of those wedge plates in light bluish gray color. But we're going to go and take a look at the light bluish gray plates in a second. Over here, I also got these bigger wedge slopes pointing to both sides, left and right, actually. So a lot of these useful pieces as well to continue building the landscaping. And I got a couple of smaller ones right over here, but also a couple of these slopes, which I think are going to be definitely something interesting for the usage, of course, of these pieces within the landscaping. So I truly look forward to sort of using a couple of those throughout this entire area. Not too much, but I'm definitely going to use up this entire bag of these pieces. So truly looking forward to that. I also got this little bag with the 1x1 plates in a dark tan color, also useful pieces. And over here, actually, I got this massive bin with a couple of dark tan plates. So this compartment right over here is filled with the 2x4 plates, a lot of those. I got these cheese pieces, the 1x1 cheese pieces, actually one fell into this bin right here. I got the 1x2 dark tan plates over here. We got the corner plates right here, which I frequently use for a lot of detail. And then this compartment is filled with a couple of these corner pieces. And we got, of course, these 2x3 plates in a dark tan color. So a lot of useful pieces for just filling in this entire area. And I'm really looking forward to that because I really want to fill in the entire area with all of that dark tan. But I definitely need to make sure that this area right here is going to look a little bit more natural. Back when I was starting to build the landscaping, I really didn't have a lot of ideas for, of course, building this. I had no clue what I was building, but right now I have a sort of bigger image of what I want to build. So I'm actually going to remove a lot of the dark tan pieces right here to sort of add a couple of these wedge plates in, of course, the light bluish gray color, so I can definitely sort of create these patterns like right over here. And that's definitely one of my main goals actually for this episode, to really make sure that everything over here in the front is going to look as natural as possible, because this is actually just going to be a sort of episode which is going to lead to the finale of building Mordor in Lego, because we're almost done with building everything. And I'm really looking forward to just finishing off the entire mock and showing it off in the finale. So that day is definitely coming close. I got a couple of those bigger wedge plates right over here. Really useful pieces. Really look forward to using these as well. So definitely something epic right there. And I got these sort of cheese pieces, but the bigger ones actually is sort of slopes. And these are also going to be used for detailing this area right over here. And maybe even a little bit of a light bluish gray area right over here surrounding the small hill over here on which Frodo and Sam and Gollum are actually going to take a look at the entire Black Gate, with, of course, the Easterlings marching in right here. Also something epic. Then I actually got a lot of these cheese pieces right here. So a couple of bags of those for detailing, and a couple of these 2x2 plates as well. And what I forgot to mention with these sort of bigger cheese pieces is actually that I don't get to use too many of these, because you're going to have a lot of spaces where you can't place minifigures, and that's a bit of a downside to using these pieces, because they don't have any studs on them, and these pieces do. However, I am going to use a couple of these in this area just to make sure I have enough detailing on the landscaping, and I'm truly looking forward to that. So these pieces are definitely going to be used, but not in a high ratio of quantity. Then over here, I got these 1x2 light bluish gray plates. Really useful for adding a lot of detail, and that's definitely something I want to do. Over here, I got these 1x4 plates, and these are actually sort of substitute to these 1x2s. Of course, I got these 2x4s over here. We got the bigger ones, actually, and I don't know what I'm going to do with these, but they may come in handy. Then I got some random bricks right here, the 2x2 by, I believe, 3 height. Not going to use these within the landscaping, of course. Don't know why they're in my sort of landscaping bin right here. Then I got a bunch of these 1x2 light bluish gray slopes, and actually got most of these from my LEGO Star Wars battle packs. And if I haven't told you yet, I have a lot of LEGO Star Wars battle packs. Over here, actually, on my shelf, I got a lot of LEGO Clone Trooper battle packs. And if you haven't noticed, I actually have a huge LEGO First Order and Imperial and Clone Army. So that is actually where I got all of those parts for my mocks. And back in the day, I wanted to use all of those pieces for mock building. Well, right now, I actually can say that I used around 50% of the pieces which I got from battle packs back in the day. So I really made sure that that promise was going to be followed by myself. Over here, I got the 2x3s. Of course, useful pieces, some more 2x2s. We got, of course, these wedge plates right over here. The smaller ones, actually, the 3x2s, so also useful pieces. And those are actually all of the pieces I'm going to use for building the landscaping over here. Now, you got to imagine, this area is going to be sort of renovated with a lot more detailing. I really don't like this sort of line over here, which is going on, so I really need to detail that a little bit more. But I think this area right over here just looks fine. That's definitely something I want to just improve with a lot of detailing. This area right over here also looks fine, but it's going to continue all the way throughout here, and I might even add a couple of islands, so to speak. I really want to add a couple of those sort of islands. And if you don't know what my island technique within landscaping is so far, actually that's this is an island over here. I want to have sort of raised areas actually with a lot more detailing to them, so you can actually see a couple of those wedge plates surrounding this area. That's a sort of idea I actually have for islands. So they're a bit raised area, so you can actually have a sort of lower part of the landscaping, which is actually a little bit less detailed with those sort of wedge plates. And that's sort of going to be called a sea within my building techniques. So you have islands and seas within landscaping, and that's something you really need to just watch, that you have enough of those islands, because the depth in the landscaping, of course, the difference between height is definitely something you want to add within your landscaping. And I'm definitely going to do that over here in the middle. Of course, I'm also going to just place a couple of islands in the light bluish gray color instead of dark tan, because you're going to be able to see a lot more detailing that way. So just imagine, I'm going to have a little bit of rock work right here with the sort of big hill, and that's actually going to be dark bluish gray. And I'm going to have a little bit of light bluish gray surrounding it right here, and then it's going to transition into, of course, the dark tan right here. But the dark tan isn't going to be covering the entire area, because I actually want a little bit more of course, the sort of light bluish gray on the edge of the mock, so I can actually use a couple of these pieces right here. So I hope I won't be ending up using these pieces. I'm actually going to just put them on the other table right here, so I can actually just refrain from using these. So I'm actually just going to put them right here, so I don't need to use these pieces. So these are all the pieces which I don't want to use for the landscaping. But if I end up using those, I'm not going to be bothered really, because I'm going to just purchase a couple more of those for building Minas Morgul, of course. But yeah, I'm going to quit talking and really start building, because I really want to get this entire area done within this episode of building Mordor in LEGO. So right now, I'm just going to go and show you a time lapse of me building this entire area and making sure that everything is going to look superb for the finale of building Mordor in LEGO. So let's go ahead and get to building. Of course, if you have any other LEGO set you got to build for yourself, just put on the time lapse and watch it and build something yourself. So I could kind of have the feeling that we're building something together. I know this is pre-recorded to you watching this, but that would be pretty epic. I mean, I'm building and you're building. We're just a building team over here. So hashtag Team Brickley. I'm going to go and start building. So enjoy this time lapse. So I just finished building a lot of landscaping for my Blackgate mock, and I gotta say that I'm really happy with how everything is looking so far. This isn't the end result, but this is definitely something I wanted to get done in this episode of Building Mordor in LEGO. So what I actually initially did in the time lapse is of course just lay down all of these bricks, the 2x6 blue bricks, and these are useful for of course the support. And I'm really happy to say that I still have enough of these pieces. I got this entire bag right here still filled with about a quarter of the initial quantity of these pieces I started out with. And then over here, actually, this bin is also, well, a little bit filled with a couple of these pieces. So I still have a lot of these pieces to use them within the mountains of my Blackgate mock. And I also hope to have a few remaining pieces to start off building Minas Morgul with. But I'm going to see how it goes. I'm definitely going to use all of these pieces for, of course, working on the rock work. Because actually, right now, all of the landscaping is actually done. Of course, not this area right here. So despite that area, everything is done. I mean, over here in the back of Mordor, I need to work on the mountain right here, and I need to detail the landscaping. But the main foundation, and of course all of the bigger plates, are laid down within my Blackgate mock. So I'm really happy with that. And I couldn't imagine this looking anyway else like this, with of course the dark bluish gray right here. We get a transition into some light bluish gray. We get of course the dark tan, a quick transition from the tan into light bluish gray, and then eventually of course into the dark bluish gray. So I sort of wanted to make it look like a bit of a sort of sand dune right over there. And there are a couple of plates which I still need to put some pressure on because they're not really that well attached into, of course, all of the other pieces. But yeah, that's the only thing I need to do. And there's also a lot of other stuff which I want to show you, of course, for the progress of building this. So this is actually not too high. It's actually 2 bricks on this height right here. So the higher part actually of the landscaping, and this right here is just 1 brick high. So that's definitely not too high in my opinion, and I wanted to keep it that way because it's going to be a bit weird if this area is going to be high, then this area not, and this area is going to be high again. So to sort of have an enclosed pathway, and that wasn't what I was going for. So I'm really happy that everything turned out the way it is looking right now. But yeah, I got this light bluish gray section right over here, and I think it really looks superb with all of these wedge plates. I really try to include as much of these as possible in a sort of a random pattern, so it really looks natural to continue all the way along this side. And I do think that this area right here is a bit thin, but I really like it. I think this area is a bit sort of a bigger plane of the light bluish gray, and this area is really evolving into some sort of dark bluish gray pattern right here. And then of course over here on the right actually is going to be the small mountain, but I'm going to wait with building that until I have finished all of the rock work behind and of course in front of the Blackgate. And I'm actually going to build this with the leftover pieces from the rock work. So that is why Frodo, Sam and Gollum are actually standing over here on the ground, and I intentionally actually left this entire area open because I'm not going to put all of my plates over here when I'm going to cover that with rock work. So that's actually something you need to keep in mind when building your mocks. Just use plates everywhere you want to, but don't use them underneath rock work. So over here, for example, I got to remove these couple of plates because I'm not going to display these plates with minifigures on them. This is all going to be rock work. So that's definitely something I want you to keep in mind. Just display plates and use them, of course, outside of rock work, but don't be sort of using them too much because they are pretty expensive in comparison to just these regular bricks. So I really recommend that you use regular bricks. And I actually used a lot of plates within this support structure right here, but I'm never going to do that again because that really is just expensive. I mean, it's really sturdy. As you can see, I can just put a lot of pressure, a high amount of pressure on this actually, and it won't budge. But that's definitely something you only can do when you have enough plates like I had. Because talking about the plates actually, right over here, this bin is almost empty, and this bin right here also. So I really just run a marathon. I really ran a marathon with all of these plates, and I think it's really just a shame that I used so many within the rockwork foundation over there. But yeah, I can't change that. I'm not going to destroy the entire mountain for that, so I'm going to keep it that way. But returning to the landscaping, actually, I'm going to show you everything from this side over here. And actually, while building, of course, I time-lapsed everything and actually lost a little bit of footage over here, but I hope you didn't mind that. But over here, actually, I removed these two parts of the black gate so I could get a clear view of the landscaping. But I'm really happy with how it's looking from this angle as well. I mean, we have this sort of big part right there, which is dark tan, and I really think it looks awesome and really natural. And I also try to include a lot of those 1x2 plates, which you can see all over the landscaping in the dark tan color. And I think that definitely looks great. It adds a little bit of a sort of natural feeling to the MOC, and I really like that about this MOC. So I'm definitely just gonna keep that within the MOC. But yeah, the landscaping isn't done yet. I still gotta, of course, build this bit of rock work right here. And the entire actually dark bluish gray plane over here is looking a bit empty if we're going to compare that to, of course, the plane on the right. And that actually has to do with the fact that I also want to wait with using too many of the dark bluish gray plates before, of course, building the landscaping right over here, because I'm going to need a lot of those plates to actually make sure that everything over here in this section is going to look as good as possible. So I'm going to wait with using those plates in the front, because that's actually less important in my opinion than, of course, Mordor itself behind the black gate. So I'm going to wait with using a lot of plates for that. But yeah, I'm really happy with all the landscaping I built. It took a few hours, maybe 3 or 4 hours to finish this off, so you have a sort of example of how long it takes me to build something. And actually over here, I still keep it modular, so it's all modular. I kept it modular, and I think that's really something awesome to do. But there are two things I want to change within my MOC in the future. Don't know if I'm going to do that before or after the finale, but over there, this area right here is actually one big sort of compartment of 2 plates, and I actually want to separate those plates. And over here on the left side, I got 3 plates connected to each other. So let me try to show that. This one, and that one right there with the big mountain is also just all attached. And I really want to make sure that I can just separate those, but I'm not going to do that while, of course, my building series, because then I actually have to destroy a lot of landscaping. And I think it really looks superb for the finale of Mordor right now. So I'm going to keep everything as it is for now, unless, of course, I really am agitated by everything and I want to, of course, make sure that everything is just going to be a lot more modular. But I think the landscaping really looks superb, and I would love to hear your opinion on the landscaping. So let me know in the comment section down below what you think of the landscaping in front of the Black Gate MOC. Do you like the fact actually that I got a sort of big light bluish gray area right over here? A sort of island actually in the sea of the dark tan. So that definitely looks great in my opinion, but I would love to hear your opinion on that. I think the landscaping looks superb. I kind of like the fact that the landscaping sort of goes into an extreme big area right over here and quickly edges off into this. But I'm really happy with that. So let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this awesome type of landscaping style. And of course, if you did enjoy watching this episode of Building Mordor in LEGO, let me know by leaving a like to support it. Go subscribe to Brickley if you are new to my channel, hashtag Team Brickley, and ring that notification bell to stay updated on when I post any LEGO videos. And as usual, I actually shout out quotes from The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. You comment in the comment section down below. But I'm actually going to wait with that until a couple episodes in the future, because right now I'm actually just building a lot and I'm really recording a lot of episodes on 1 or 2 days. So I'm going to wait with that. You can, of course, keep commenting, because I'm actually going to save up all of the quotes for one massive quote shout out video. So stay tuned for that. And I'm really happy that all of you are showing so much support towards building Mordor in LEGO. I really love building everything. And just imagine, this entire area right here is going to be filled with hundreds of minifigures. So I'm really looking forward to the finale of building Mordor in LEGO. So yeah, I hope all of you enjoyed watching this video. And I'll see you all in episode 23 of building Mordor in LEGO.
It's in the air like a blazing flare. Just stare 'cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything.